One of the most critical months for Alaska real estate is going to be the month of June. This is where a lot of people are out and about, and they are really wanting to find a home as quickly as possible. So for this reason, a lot of sellers wait until the summer to get their homes on the market. So with that being the case, June is one of the most critical months, and we really want to know how much has COVID and the pandemic really impacted the real estate market up here in Alaska. So let's have a look at the month of June and compare it to the previous year to start getting a feel for how we're starting to feel the impacts in this real estate market. I'm going to look overall for the entire state of Alaska, and we're also going to take a deep dive onto the numbers in the Anchorage, the Kenai, the MatSu Valley, and the Fairbanks real estate markets as well. Some of the things we found out actually surprised even me. So I'm looking forward to that. Before we get started, make sure that you do give this video a like, make sure that you subscribe, and make sure that you stick around to the end. I have kind of an exciting announcement that I'm looking forward to sharing with you. We continue to feel the impacts of COVID in our real estate market here, and that is really going to be reflected in our inventory. For the total number of active homes that are on the market overall for Alaska, compared to the previous year in June, we were actually down 18%. Okay? For Anchorage specifically, we're going to be down 11%. For the Kenai Peninsula, the inventory is going to be down 26%. For the MatSu Valley, we're going to be down 18%. And for the Fairbanks area, we're going to be down 32%. So that's not entirely unexpected. We would expect to see a lot of people who just decided that they're not going to get their homes on the market. We'll take a closer look at what all this means at the end of the video. Now, another big indication that we need to look at is the number of new listings that are going to be coming on the market compared from this June to the previous year's June. So overall for the state, we are actually going to be up by 8%. In Anchorage, the inventory is going to be up 32%. In other words, the number of new listings that are going to be coming onto the market, we saw a big bump up in the new listings that were coming on in June, which makes sense. A lot of people couldn't get on during the pandemic, or they didn't want to, and so they're just trying to catch up now. Makes sense. Now, let's have a look at the other markets. In the Kenai, they are actually going to be down by 7%. For the MatSu Valley, they are going to be down by 8%. And for Fairbanks, the number of new listings is going to be down by 16%. So obviously not every real estate market is seeing a bounce back effect of people just trying to get on the market because they couldn't a couple months ago. We're not quite seeing that. We'll get more into the deep dive in a little bit here. Now, for the number of properties that are under contract, in other words, how many of them do we actually have agreements on, or agreements have been written and we're working towards closing? Overall, we're seeing an increase of 48%. So that's pretty significant. Overall, for the entire state, we're seeing an almost 50% increase for the number of houses that were under contract during this time. That's significant. It means that we've got less inventory, and inventory we do have is coming off the market pretty quickly. It's in pretty high demand. For Anchorage specifically, we're seeing that the number for the homes that are under contract during this time is up by 54%. For the Kenai Peninsula, we're seeing that we're up 1%. For the MatSu Valley, we're actually seeing that the number of homes under contract during this period is up 75% compared to last year. So things are moving pretty fast and furious in the MatSu Valley. In Fairbanks, it's actually down by 7% for the number of new contracts on homes during the month of June compared to this year to the previous year. Has this been useful for you so far? Is there something you would like to know specifically? Make sure that you ask your questions in the comments section down below so I can make sure that I am answering all of your questions and that this is going to be very useful for you. So we've looked at the number of properties that are under contract. Now let's have a look at the number of properties that have actually sold, closed, done during the month of June. Now what we're seeing is that we're actually seeing a decrease of about 18%. And that's really to be expected. A real estate transaction is usually going to take about 45 to 60 days in this market. So, really we're just kind of feeling the impacts of COVID, because while properties were selling, they weren't selling at the high volume that they were before. So these are properties that sold. The sold properties are the ones that would have gone into contract about 2 months ago. Okay, so that's why we're not seeing quite as many of the ones that have actually sold. So drop of about 18%. In Anchorage, we're seeing a drop of about 10%. In the Kenai Peninsula and in the MatSu Valley, we're seeing a drop of 25%. And Fairbanks, we're seeing a drop of 40%. Now, let's have a look at the average sales price for the different markets, kind of across the board, and see how we're doing as far as that goes. I've kind of talked about the sales price before. It's not my favorite metric just because people really fixate on it and it doesn't really tell the entire story, but it can be kind of a useful indicator. So overall for the state, we're actually seeing that our average sales price in Alaska is $320,846. So doing pretty good, but that's actually down by 1% from where it was the year before. Now let's have a look at the Anchorage market. It is down 2% because the average sales price for homes sold in the month of June in Anchorage is going to be $373,773. For the Kenai Peninsula is actually up 4%. The average sold price is $286,147. For the MatSu Valley, it is down 1%. They are currently selling for about $282,543. And for Fairbanks, they are down 6%. Their average sold price for the month of June is $227,957. So what does all this mean? Well, first off, it means that inventory continues to be low. The markets that are rebounding the quickest to get the most amount of inventory back onto the market to kind of get ourselves back to the normal level from what we'd see this time this year is going to be Anchorage. Their number of new listings on the market is at 32%, and we're not seeing the other markets quite at that level of aggressiveness at getting new inventory out there on the market. Now we're seeing that other markets are ranging anywhere from about 16% down to about 7% down. So Anchorage continues to be the one that's kind of leading the way in getting the new inventory out there on the market. Secondly, we're seeing that there is still a high demand from buyers for houses. Overall, we're seeing that there is an increase for the properties that are under contract. The MatSu Valley definitely takes the cake for proportionally the number of new properties under contract, because they had 75% increase for the new properties that are under contract compared to the year before in June. So that's a favorable indicator. Only Fairbanks saw a decrease in their number of new properties under contract, and they saw a decrease of 7%. So yeah, that's just something to keep an eye on. Overall, what we're seeing is that if you are wanting to sell, this is an opportune time to do it. The inventory is down for buyers, the interest rates are low, so they're motivated, and this is the prime time of the year to be moving, just because there's not snow and other obstacles in the way. So if you're looking to sell, this is it. If you're looking to buy, then you need to have a strategy in place on how you're going to win in multiple offer situations. I do have a video about that. Check out that video right up there, and that'll be a good resource for you to kind of get a feel for how you can win in multiple offer situations. I've yet to lose on one, so definitely go check that out. And Let me know if you have any questions so we can make sure you get the home that you're looking for. Thank you for watching. If this video has been useful, make sure that you give it a thumbs up, make sure that you subscribe, and also make sure that if you have any questions, you do post those questions down below. If you'd like to reach out to me directly to ask any questions, make sure that you contact me through my Facebook page. The link to that is going to be in the description down below. And now for the special announcement. I am actually going to be rolling out a entirely new video series called Alaska Road Trip. In this, I am going to show you what Alaskan towns and cities are like from kind of the ground, just by going around and giving you a tour of as many communities as possible. I've spent a lot of time in my car recently just taking in all these communities and seeing all the different different flavors that Alaska has to offer. So definitely do check that out. And if you have any questions, as always, make sure you post them in the comment section down below.